We are breaking down my Madden 18 Manifesto. For those of you that want to know what that means, this is your quick access look at how to start winning more games day one when you get Madden 18. This is going to give you a crash course on how to have a offensive attack directly when you get the game right away. You're going to know all the information that I have up here in my brain. It's been helping me have success online. You don't have to do the time. You don't have to do the practice, the lab work, the games. I'm going to share with you what has been working for me, what I think is by far some of the most effective tactics, strategies that you're going to find in Madden 18. All right, so first and foremost, guys, let's take a look here. Every single year, I find it important that you need to find a way to be able to beat man-to-man consistently. And when it comes to Madden 18, I don't think there's a better way to attack man-to-man consistently than with out patterns. Out patterns specifically to your halfback are going to give you a lot of success in the long run. Now, the faster your halfback, the better route running they have, the more success you're going to have. So let's take this play right here, for example, the dollar formation. And we're going to look at Paulie Perkins, very good halfback out of the backfield. And the first thing I want to point out is it's just a quick hot route. You put him on an out, and then you let him run his pattern. Now, right there, that actually I was actually user controlling the middle linebacker there. So let me readjust that there. Let me not get on him because in this year's game they get a little funky. So right here, the out patterns to halfbacks are phenomenal. Right there, Paul Perkins now dives. Now we're getting talking dog here. But what I want you guys to understand is that these out patterns out of the backfield, they run such crispy, I'll call them crispy routes, that they get such good separation, right? And that's what I want you guys to understand. When you day one, you get the game, you got to start putting your halfbacks on these little outs, little ins, and then they break to the sideline, you get the ball, and then you can crank the ball carrier upfield. It is such an important thing to note. You want to put them on an out pattern. Now, if my defense was flipped and I had a linebacker on this side matched up, that's Jalen Smith. You're going to see that these outs a lot of times will shake that linebacker right there, and then when he gets to the sideline, you can still crank it up to the sideline and try to make a play. But you need to force the defense to have to respect these outs, not only just against man-to-man, but also show you against zone defense that they're like right there. See, that's what you get. You see how effective that is? That's Jalen Smith, one of the best coverage linebackers, speed, athleticism that you're going to find in the game. And what you'll find is these out patterns a lot of times will have a ton of success against these linebackers. It'll cut. He makes a real sharp cut. Good route running on Paulie Perkins. Get to the sideline, and you could take a little short route to the halfback, and you could turn that upfield for a huge gain. And the other thing that makes this really successful is if you get zone coverage, it's a standard cover 3, outside corners here are in curl flats, right? What you're going to find is that the zone drifts away from these outside. The zone drifts away from these outs to the halfback. So you're going to see how open they get. Look how much space. Look how much space that is. Ton of space underneath to throw those routes. So now you're going to force your opponent, if they want to go back to that cover 3, they're going to have to play hard flat. So look, I'm in a hard flat now. This will take it away. Like, I'm not throwing this now at the hard flat, but guess what it does? It opens up other things like deep posts behind it. And I would say that's something that's going to be really helpful for you with the game. It doesn't just stop with halfbacks. I think out patterns to other receivers are also really effective as well. So take a look at Odell Beckham Jr. here against man-to-man. If I do a quick little baby motion to him, motion him out, great route running on Odell. Look how he cuts and just burns that defender. Great speed, great acceleration, and he can get right by him. So my first thing that I want you all at home to try when getting the game this year is I want you to work on those out patterns, but specifically to the halfback, and then move it to your outside receivers. You're going to have a lot of success running out patterns in this year's game. Now, next up, what I want to talk about are tight end sets in Madden 18. You're going to find in a lot of playbooks this year, there are a lot of new sets, offensive formations that have multiple tight end sets. And the example here, I'm in the Seattle Seahawks offensive playbook. You're going to see the gun wing pair. You should find this very familiar to the single back jumbo pair that's been in playbooks like New England last year in 17. I believe it was in the Kansas City Chiefs. It's in numerous playbooks. It's the same alignment. You're just in a gun formation. But you can see these formations are really effective to run the ball because you have a lot of big bodies on the field. But more importantly, they just give you a breath of fresh air that people aren't used to seeing. So here's another example. The gun wing slot offset. Double tight ends to the right, double receivers to the left, twins left. You got to try these formations. They're very, very effective when it comes to this year's game. A lot of people will be in these sets. A lot of the good power plays, as I like to call them. For example, PA double post. This will be one of the most used plays in this year's game as the season develops. Phenomenal. You got 3 posts on this play, and you can have an inside zone to run the ball really effectively from it. So you're going to want to check out all these multiple tight end sets new to this year's game. A couple playbooks I recommend: Seattle. I tell you to check out Buffalo, the Jets, Arizona, Miami. And those are just to name a few of the playbooks you're going to find those multiple tight end sets where you can have a lot of success with in this year's game. Now, piggybacking off of the wing slot offset, what I would want to recommend, or these double tight end sets, I want to recommend you need to take a look at what I'm calling the new hot play for Madden 18, and it's the PA jailbreak screen. A really, really effective play whether you face man, zone. It's just a really hard play for defenses to align and stop. And it's going to be found in a lot of playbooks, but they're specifically found in a lot of these new offensive formations where you have 2 tight ends. And I also want to, as like a side note, draw attention to bubble screens. Bubble screens this year are also really effective. I don't have a bubble screen in this playbook, but you want to pay attention to bubble screens. They work really, really well. I think the jailbreaks give you a little bit more of a chance to really break a big play. But these jailbreaks, they remind me of how effective they are is Madden 09. Shout out to anybody that remembers FL screens, wide receiver screens from Madden 09. That's really how effective I think these screens are in this year's game. You get a couple good blocks, you break a tackle, and you could really be gone. Especially against zone defense, and especially against a blitzing zone defense. So say, for example, you were facing a nickel blitz style defense, everyone's favorite blitz from last year, right? Here's a nickel blitz standard setup. You'd blitz the line, you blitz the slot. If you were to get a nickel blitz look, you're going to have a lot of room to do damage. You can see there's no defenders over there. Odell Beckham, Mr. Oliver Beckham, you can crib shot that a lot of times if you face his own blitz on that side. So I really want you guys, when you get your hands on the game, really focus in on, do I have a jailbreak screen in my playbook? Do I have a wide receiver screen in my playbook? Do I have a bubble screen in my playbook? Those are the things you want to look for. It adds an extra element to your offense that you haven't had for a few seasons when it comes to Madden, and they're going to be one of the harder plays to stop, specifically if your opponent is running zone coverage. Now, I also want to call attention to a specific formation in playbook, the Buffalo Bills offensive playbook. I want you to check out, it's a gun trips formation, 3 receivers to the right. There's a bubble screen built in with no play action. It's very unique. A lot of these jailbreak screens require play action, okay? But this bubble screen in the Buffalo Bills playbook does not. And there's also a 5-wide receiver Buffalo Bills playbook bubble screen as well that you'll be able to have a lot of success with. And then one other note, in the Arizona Cardinals, it's an empty set. It was the empty bunch wide set. There's a jailbreak screen that requires no play action with it. So you're going to want to check out those 2 things. The Cardinals and the Bills book, the bubble screens and the jailbreak screens. You're going to have a lot of success with those if you try them out. Now, those are 3 things we talked about. The next thing I want to talk about are how important the post route is in this year's game. Now, I'm not referring to the Z-spot. Everyone thinks the Z-spot play, for the most part, is gone. You're not going to be able to have success running it. And for good reason. You take a look at Z-spot on the screen right here. This Z-spot play no longer has the ever so popular inside cut route and go, so you can't really run that route anymore. But what I want to call your attention to, what I'm calling the best route in the game, what I think this is the best play in the game, we'll save it for another day, break it down, but it's the gun bunch weak bunch trail I believe that these post patterns are going to be the most effective route that you could have in your offense, and specifically because they do a phenomenal job at just absolutely destroying man-to-man coverage, especially with the big body receiver. They get inside release, pass lead inside, and you can see that's Brandon Marshall, not a ton of speed, going against Orlando Scandrick. Now, these post patterns are a consistent about 20-25 yard play. If you get man-to-man, you're going to be able to throw these routes open and have a lot of success. You can see there once again, if you have a faster receiver, a lot of times you can split the safeties there and get an even bigger play. But I want to bring that attention to you. Post patterns are not dead. You need to have them be a focal point of your offense, and I absolutely love it from this gun bunch week, the bunch trail from this formation. You're going to find it in very few playbooks. Seattle has it, Miami has it, and there's a few others that have it. I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook has it as well, but I believe it's one of the most powerful plays in the game. You're going to want to add it to your offense. One other note to mention, the Buffalo Bills playbook, the Arizona Cardinals playbook, they have the traditional Z spot from their gun bunch strong. So if you're looking for that route, you'll be able to find it in the Arizona Cardinals playbook, and you'll also be able to find it in the Buffalo Bills playbook. Now, our last tip for the day. When you get into the red zone, I find it really important. I want to give you a tip on how to score in the red zone. I think you really want to focus on something that you saw a lot last year. It's these post patterns in the red zone. For example, right here, Engram. This play is called SE Post. You want to smart route these posts in the end zone, and you want to throw these high point balls to get animations. When you get in the red zone, this is very similar to last year. High point passes in the red zone on post patterns are going to be your most consistent way to be able to get the ball up in the air in a spot where you can hopefully hang on to it and get a good chance at scoring a touchdown in the red zone. I also really want to I really want you to pay attention to the dragon patterns. Remember the dragon routes from last year, right? Let's take a look at Jet 6 Drive. Now, these dragon patterns are really, really effective in the red zone, and once again, I think it's one of the better ways to get a ball up to one of your tall tight ends in the back of the end zone. Let them run that dragon pattern in the back of the end zone, and then you throw a high point pass to them. These are the two ways I think that you're going to have the most success without minimizing your risk. Right here you can see Eli sailing the ball, but it's all about minimizing risk and finding something that's consistent for your offense. And I think these posts, I think these dragon patterns, they're going to give you the success that you need and give you the confidence that once you start and get the game, that you'll be able to score in the red zone. So that is my offensive manifesto for Madden 18. To go over those points again, we had out patterns are your best friend, specifically to the halfback. Tight end formations, there's a lot of new ones in Madden 18. You're going to want to try them all out. Post patterns are very effective, especially from gun bunch, the bunch trail. Screens, jailbreak screens, bubble screens, super, super effective this year. Make sure to add it to your offense. And fifth, the red zone post and the dragon pattern in the red zone are going to help you score touchdowns, at least have an opportunity to score those touchdowns when you get in the red zone. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel here, like the channel. We'll do whatever you want, but this is my manifesto for the Madden 18 season to get you started, give you a little boost when you get into those head-to-head seasons. I think this is going to help you tremendously. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys later on. That's the manifesto, boys. It's the manifesto.